The Country 107 Morning Show on the road. We're at the amazing old No.12 Cafe and Lounge here in Ste.Anne, and it's a beautiful day to come down, enjoy some coffee, some breakfast, and have a whole lot of laughs while we're here as well. Some fine town folk have made their way down, and we're really happy to be joined with Yvonne St. Vincent, principal of Ste.Anne Collegiate, and also a Ste.Anne counselor. Sir, thank you very much for joining us here this morning. Let's start with, how long have you been in the Ste.Anne schooling system?
I started actually about 16 years ago. I was a phys ed teacher for a handful of years, and then I've been principal of the school for the last 10 years.
Man, so that's quite a long time. What's it been like to see students kind of grow up and then leave, but then come back to Ste.Anne? Man, things have really changed.
Yeah, and time goes by fast, obviously, and it's been great to see a lot of students come back. Actually, some students who have gone through the school and graduated are now working for us in different capacities in the school, and the community's grown, so they tend to stay more than leave, which has not always been the case. But yeah, it's always super interesting, and it's always a reminder of how quickly you're aging when your students start bringing their children into the school system.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a nice eye opener. What about what changes came about that made students that left want to come back, or even just families stay in Ste.Anne? What changed?
Well, I think as the city has grown, in a strange way, Ste.Anne is now realized as maybe closer to Winnipeg than it ever was before. So to pay $2,000-3,000 of rent in Winnipeg, when you can find a lovely place in Ste.Anne for maybe $1,000, or stay at home, which is even cheaper. I think people have realized that our proximity to Winnipeg is a huge benefit, and you really don't need to leave Ste.Anne. And with our local amenities like the hospital and the things that we have, there really is no reason to leave because everything's here or very close to you.
Yvonne, another big part of Ste.Anne is just the culture here, the Francophone culture, and others may come in, but there's such a strong root here in the Francophone community. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our town has certainly grown, like a 30% actually in the last census, so that's been a huge growth. But at the core of our town will always be the Francophones who established here first and are still a very strong part of this community. But it's been great to add some diversity to our community also.
Now, this is again a growing town. Ste.Anne wants to grow, wants to get bigger, wants to again just keep being that place, a go-to place. How can you go about doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been fairly aggressive. I'm also on the town council, and we've been very aggressive as promoting the benefits of being in Ste.Anne, its proximity to all the resources that are around us. Frankly, our low cost of living, it's fairly inexpensive to find a nice home, buy a nice home, or rent a nice home in Ste.Anne, and we've really been promoting that. The other piece that we're really promoting is we're trying to draw a lot of small and medium businesses that that's been a focus of ours to encourage those small and medium businesses to locate themselves in Ste.Anne. As a matter of fact, I'm on our local Chamber of Commerce, and we're very aggressive in trying to accommodate those folks. So if there's anyone out there listening and they want to come to Ste.Anne, just give us a call and we will make it work.
That sounds like a great opportunity for a family business to come set up shop and be part of a community that really cares. You get the sense that Ste.Anne is a really special place to be.
Yeah, it's certainly become that, where people are looking out for one another. I hear a lot of people who promote, to shop local, buy local, and that's exactly the flavor that we're trying to create, is to try to, we all know, the more money that's spent in your community, then just the stronger your community will become economically, financially, and that's exactly what we're pushing for.
Yvonne, thanks so much for taking some time. We'll let you get ready for golf season, because I hear you're a heck of a golfer. Is that true?
Yeah, I love it. I don't know if I'm a heck of a golfer, but I love being out there, and I'm definitely looking for this summer. And just wanted to thank you guys for coming out and showcasing Ste.Anne like you have.
Hey, we're so happy to be here. I know that you taught Jamie Roy everything he knows about golf, and he became good despite all that advice. Yvonne, thank you for this.
Yeah, thank you. And I don't want to take any credit for anything Jamie's done.
That's what his parents say. Come on down to Ste.Anne. We're at the old No.12 Cafe and Lounge here. Coffee is free as long as we're here, so join us, have some laughs, tell some stories, and we're going to continue here as the Country 107 Morning Show is on the road in Ste.Anne. Well, we're here at the old No.12 Cafe and Lounge, and it's starting to fill up, and why not? It's got incredible breakfast, great coffee, and fantastic guests. Brian Martell, the principal of École Pointe de Chêne, has joined us. Sir, thank you so much for taking some time. How long have you been principal now here in Pointe de Chêne?
I've been principal here for the past 4 years.
All right, so let's talk a little bit before we get into a specific student who happens to be here at the table with us and may or may not have broken you mentally. Let's talk a little bit about what it's been like to be a principal. What are the ages that the school actually has right now?
Well, École Pointe des Chênes is a school from kindergarten to grade 12, approximately 300 students. So it's a school we're always buzzing with activities, be it at the early levels or at the senior levels, different sports, cultural activities. So it's always buzzing every day of the week.
And it sounds like is it an opportunity for young teachers to come in and maybe really find a home and a great career here?
Yes, for sure. We have some of our staff members, teachers, teacher aides, custodians who live in the community of Ste.Anne. Others are from surrounding areas, Lorette or Winnipeg, and they travel to Ste.Anne, which is really not too far from the city.
No, and I mean, it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful town to come and not only find a career, but really put roots down. Do you get a sense that a lot of people, when they come here, they kind of fall in love with the place?
It is. Myself, I don't reside in Ste.Anne. I travel in from St. Pierre every single day. But every single year I notice construction that's going on. They've added the past few years the skate park and improvements have been done to the park and all that. So it is a booming town.
So we're talking here with the principal of École Pointe des Chênes. Now, sir, is it a bilingual school or is it French only? How does that work?
Yes, it's a French only school. The students, they start English language arts starting in grade 4, but essentially when they are done their grade 12, they are fully bilingual. But we have the francophone component. We are part of the DSFM in the Manitoba Francophone School Division.
What does it mean to have kids learning both languages in your school? I mean, it's got to be a huge leg up for them when they do graduate.
Yes, it is. It's of course you have the employment opportunities being bilingual, but it's also just the fact of being being proud of our francophone heritage, francophone roots. That is huge, and that is one thing that we strive upon offering in our programming at École Pointe des Chênes.
You think kids benefit from maybe being bilingual, or at least exposed to it early on, whether it's in kindergarten grades 1 or grade 2? Do they get a benefit from that?
Yes, most certainly. It's we can have they can have discussions or conversations with whoever, and just switch very easily from English to French, and sometimes it's even done in the same sentence.
Yeah, I've noticed that. You were talking with Jamie Roy and Yvonne St. Vincent, and you guys went from English to French back and forth. Okay, so if you think it's easier when you're young, I'm 31 now. I just turned 31 last week, but I'm going to get you to try and teach me some French. Okay, so I would like to say, my name is Dave Anthony, and this is Country 107. How would I do that?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Dave Anthony, et vous écoutez à Country 107.7.
All right, so that's how you would say it if you tried to say it in French. All right, so je m'appelle Dave Anthony, and, well, thank you very much, sir, for coming in. And you know what? You can't teach an old dog new tricks, so parents, maybe get your kids bilingual. Young, you have a shot. Thank you very much for doing this, sir. We really appreciate it.
No problem. My pleasure's mine.
Come on down and enjoy free coffee while we're here at the old No.12 Cafe and Lounge in St. Anne. It's starting to fill up, and a lot of great local people are here enjoying it. And we can't thank Brian enough for taking some time for us this morning. I know it's very busy. The Country 107 Morning Show continues. Well, the Country 107 Morning Show on the road at the old No.12 Cafe and Lounge in St. Anne. And just when Brian Martell thought he was done, we pulled him back in because learned something pretty cool now. Brian, a couple of weeks back, you were on a pretty exciting trip. Tell us about that.
Yes, during the spring break, we had 5 students from École Pointe des Chênes and 11 students from École de Real Bérard in St. Pierre. We did the battlefields tour in France, so we had the opportunity also to visit the historical city of Paris.
Now, of course, many people have seen the news of late, and they know all about the Notre-Dame Cathedral. What was it like to experience that just weeks before the tragic event?
Yeah, it was. It's quite amazing because for myself personally, it was the second time visiting the cathedral. The first time there was just too many people, so I didn't have the opportunity to go inside. This last time we were there early in the morning, so we went inside and just fascinated with the the cathedral itself and all that it represents, but it never crosses your mind that you'd be seeing that, and a few weeks afterwards, you see on the news that it's up in flames. So I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity to visit the cathedral.
Do you think the students really understood the gravity of what they saw once they saw just how big of a deal it was that it was on fire? Do you think the students just understood how special it was?
Yes, for sure. Being myself having a background in history, being a history teacher, it's a 850-year-old building, and for them, they really were amazed by the architecture and by the work that was involved to build this. It took almost 200 years to build that structure. Even today, with what we have today in terms of equipment and stuff, it would be quite impossible to duplicate.
It sounds like a very special trip that some students got to go on. Are you planning any other trips like that in the future?
Yeah, for sure. We visited the Vimy region and the Normandy region, so we toured the battlegrounds, battlefields of World War I and World War II, because it was a awesome experience for the kids. Have a deep sense of appreciation for being in such a great country they live in today, thanks to the people that fought for us back in the day.
Yeah, we'll wrap up with this because I'm a huge history buff as well, and just from your point of view as a history man, how important is it to keep those memories alive in today's youth, and for them to understand just what so many people went through 100 or so years ago? How important is it that kids understand what did happen?
Well, you can read about it in books, you can talk about it, you can watch different movies or documentaries that portray it. It's a fact that we have less and less veterans that are alive today, World War II veterans. So for anyone who has the opportunity to walk in the battlefields, the area where our soldiers gave the ultimate sacrifice, it replaces everything else. So it's extremely important to keep that alive, keep it going, and let's keep the discussion going to appreciate what we have today.
Well, we appreciate you spending some time for us today and coming back and circling back. We do appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right, so the Country 107 Morning Show is going to continue here from the old No. 12 Cafe and Lounge in Ste.Anne, where everybody's coming down to solve some problems. We're going to have Aurel Boivin come by and join us from the Ste.Anne Food Bank. He's going to join us in just 6 minutes. Good morning. It is 9:19. I'm Dave Anthony here at the old No. 12 Cafe and Lounge. Coming up in just a little bit, Sarah Normando. She's here and very popular. Everybody seems to know Sarah. And we're pleased to be joined with another popular member, Aurel Boivin. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. My coffee's hot and it hasn't reached the bottom yet. Celeste here is just doing a great job. Did you get a chance to get a coffee yet?
Oh, I certainly have. Actually, I had two before coming, so I'm caffeined out right now.
You got the big smile on, feeling good. It's such a great atmosphere here in the old No. 12 Cafe and Lounge. There's so many great people and the topics of conversation. It's something really special here, eh?
There's quite a variety in a small community like that. We have to look at quite a variety of needs and answer to whatever needs that arise. So we did with the food bank.
Yeah, now let's talk a little bit about the food bank. When did it start here in Ste.Anne?
It started about 4 years ago. A group of us got together and we had very good support from the municipality and from the town. And so we started very humbly in a very small area. We soon had to expand, and now we need to expand even more.
Now, were you surprised? Maybe were people surprised that Ste.Anne needed a food bank?
They certainly were. Some of the people were asking us, do you really need a food bank here in town? We don't see anybody in need. And wouldn't you know, 4 years later, we prepare 70 hampers every second week. That represents over 300 people that are in need. I remember Stephan Patton visiting our food bank and saying to us, don't take this wrong, but I hope you guys don't make it. I hope you go bankrupt. Well, it's not. The opposite has happened. It's unfortunate, but it's reality we have to address.
You talk about service 300 people. That's a lot. Is it adults or who are you giving the food to?
So it's quite a mixture of adults and children. I think it's very important that the children see their fridge sometimes full at home, and we hope that they will pay it forward when they grow up and break the cycle of this need that they face today.
Aurel is here from the Ste.Anne Food Bank, and you talked a little bit about the need for growth. How are you going about expanding the food bank?
So we have right now a very good arrangement with Clearview Co-op. They're letting us have their old site at a very reasonable price. Actually, it's not costing us anything. They're donating the area, but we need to expand, and we cannot expand there. So we have to start looking at another place to be able to continue to answer the need, because it seems to be growing all the time.
What has the community support been like since the food bank came in 4 years ago?
Community support has been phenomenal. We have become the go-to for many other needs also. Sometimes people will want to give clothing. I know at Christmas we were collecting toques and mitts and socks, and the community was phenomenal. I just cannot say better things for them. It's just been phenomenal and very encouraging. It's very encouraging for our volunteers to see that we have a whole community behind us.
For people here in the old No. 12 cafe right now, listening, smiling, laughing, and for those who are maybe on the way or just leaving, how can people get involved and maybe give to the food bank, and what are your needs right now?
So right now, our needs, we always need more food, especially things like cereal, peanut butter, to be specific, and certainly volunteers. We already have about 25 volunteers on our list, and Suzanne Richot is the one that coordinates all the volunteers. It's been phenomenal. Around Christmas time, we need more volunteers, and the community has been so good to us at Christmas time, because our numbers increase, of course, because there are other people who do not come to the food bank, but they're food insecure, and so we have to answer that need too.
All right, so how can we get a hold of you to volunteer or to give to the food bank?
So we have a phone number with for the food bank. That would be probably the easiest way. I can look it up if you want. We can put it on the air, and or contact any board member, and we'll direct them to the right people. Because in the small community, pretty well everybody knows everybody. So myself and many others have been labeled with the food bank, and that's good. And so they come and offer us all kinds of help, all kinds of donations, and so that's what keeps us going.
Every little bit helps. Come on down and be a part of something really special. Volunteer some time for the Ste.Anne Food Bank or prep a donation and get ready to give, because it really does make a difference. Aurel, thank you so much for spending some time for us today, and get another cup of coffee. I think you deserved it.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thanks for your interest.
All right. Well, the Country 107 Morning Show continues here from the old No. 12 Cafe and Lounge, coming up in just a little bit. Good morning. It's 9:28 on this beautiful sunny day here in Ste.Anne, and we are just being flooded with so many amazing local people. Sarah Normando has made her way to the table, the town rec director. Sarah, thank you so much. How's the coffee?
It's really good.
And the best part is it's free for the whole time that we're here, so come on down, say hi to Sarah, and get some free coffee. Now, Sarah, can you explain a little bit about what a town rec director does?
You know what? A town rec director is kind of just establishing different relationships across the entire community, whether it's nonprofit organizations, established organizations, kind of pulling out what their vision is of what they want to bring to the community as far as programs, recreation, summer camps, different workshops. It can be as simple as working with Epic Fitness here in town about stroller fitness and different programs bringing to the community and helping people establish those types of programs that are in need.
Sarah, now you're a huge driving force behind many different areas here in Ste.Anne, and sport is one of them. And tell us a little bit about your impact on the baseball community here in Ste.Anne.
Yeah, you know what? Me and one of my best friends started it 4 years ago. She's no longer involved, but it's kind of just grown legs, and we do have a lot of new people moving to the community. And as people move to the community, they're hearing about all these different programs they can get involved with, and baseball being one of them. Our youth baseball has grown exponentially. We're now in the number of about 80 kids playing baseball, so it's a new program that's definitely growing legs, and it's fantastic for the kids because they love that spring program.
Sarah, we've had a lot of great people come by and just talk about the growth of Ste.Anne and just how people have moved back or are staying and raising families. For you to offer opportunities for people to stay, because people need something to make them want to stick around. Is that something you get the sense of and take a lot of pride in, that Ste.Anne offers quite a bit?
Yeah, you know what? I don't I'm so in love with this community. I kind of like being the welcome wagon. I like meeting the new people that move to this community. We are growing. We have new developments coming up all the time, and I love meeting those people, where they're coming from, who they are behind what they do and what they represent. And I love telling them about our community initiatives, and even our festival, our community festival held Dawson Trail Days, Labor Day weekend every year. We've made that really family friendly as well, and now it's proving to be something that people do not want to miss. People are coming home from the lake now, and before it was just about baseball and beer gardens, and now we've really brought the element back that it's family friendly, and we're making it fun for the kids and fun for the family, and nobody wants to miss it. So it's a great time for the community to come together and cap off summer.
I can tell it means a lot to you and a lot of the town people as well. There's a real sense of pride that comes from being here in Ste.Anne and just getting to listen to people and hear their excitement. What's that like for you?
Oh my gosh, I thrive on it. Like if I can spend all my days talking to people and hearing their stories, and especially the elderly and the ones that have been here for a long time, like Celeste and her dad, Jude, like I adore them. I wanted to be her when I grew up. So she's a huge iconic volunteer in this community. She's done a lot. So for me, I like hearing the stories. I like hearing, where we were and where we're going. And I'm a part of that future. And it's fun to bring in the new people that, we're not a cliquey community. We're a community that is all inclusive, and we adore new people, and we want to find those new people that are willing to help and establish new programs. And that's what I love doing.
There's something for everyone. So get the kids out and get involved. And maybe is there some future programs coming up that we can start getting excited about?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, tonight we have our open house for Scouts Canada. Scouts Canada now is an all-inclusive boys and girls program, and it used to be here in Ste.Anne, and it kind of lost its fire. And now we have some community members that would like to bring it back. So we're having that tonight at the Fellowship Church, and families are invited to take part, and we're hoping to bring that back to Ste.Anne. And then the other thing we are looking into the future is a lacrosse program to use our winter facility of the curling rink and the arena in summer. So it's really exciting.
That is so cool that programs are coming back and, new programs are starting. That's got to be really exciting for everybody involved in the town.
Oh, it is. It's super exciting. And I just love bringing new things and talking to new people. And you know what? People have great ideas. And if you're willing to listen to them and help them bring those ideas to the table and help them kind of come up with the programming that goes around it and make a team that can really bring that program to life, then that's how it grows legs. And it's all based on community, and you are only as good as the people that will work with you. And I find I have amazing friendships in this community, and I have amazing relationships with people that we do work with, like our Dawson Trail Days committee, and a bunch of people that are just all about volunteerism and working in this community.
All right, Sarah, if people want to share ideas or maybe want to talk about more programs with you, how can they get a hold of you?
Oh, my door is always open. I am at the town office here and there, mostly every single day. And I think everybody in this community knows who I am. So most people have my cell phone. I'm super easy to reach. Come find me, because I definitely want to hear these ideas. Actually, somebody just hit me up for a line dancing and country dancing workshop or lessons, and that's what we're doing next. So yeah, it's exciting.
That is so awesome, Sarah. Thank you so much for taking some time for us today. We hope you enjoy the coffee here.
Thank you. It's very good.
And we love being here at the old No.12 Cafe and Lounge in Ste.Anne. It's been a great morning, and it continues with amazing guests. John DeRoche, Fire Chief here in Ste.Anne. Not John DeRoche, as you are now being called. I'm sorry about that, sir. But you also have the name Griswold as well. How did you get that name?
Not sure. It's just a little name that started in the office, and I think I have Sarah to blame for that one.
I think that seems to be a lot of the answers, right? It's Sarah's fault? Yeah, no. You guys have a lot of fun, though, and you guys seem like a really close team.
Yeah, we are. We've got a really good group, kind of young and full of energy, and we all get along really well.
And I think that kind of works for Ste.Anne, right? Because that's the kind of way that the town is. It may be a young town, but there's a lot of positive energy here.
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of momentum going. There's a lot of new faces, and a lot of our staff is young and enthusiastic and ready to take on the day.
All right, so sir, you were born and raised here in Ste.Anne. How long have you been on the fire department?
I've been on the department for just over 23 years now, and acting as chief for just over 4.
All right, so take us through what it was like when you became chief here in Ste.Anne, a place where you grew up and you worked for so long. What was it like when you made the mantle of chief?
Well, it was a bit of an honor, I guess, especially taking over from one of my mentors. Ken Damon was a very large part of this town and part of the department. So to follow in his footsteps has been it's been a challenge, but something I've taken very seriously and enjoy.
All right, so take us through what it's like working at the fire department. You got to work with a lot of great people.
We got a super team. We got a lot of really good guys. We got some good young guys. We got some good old guys. And everybody's always pulling in the right direction, and we're going to get the job done.
All right, so one of the hardest things in a small town is maybe when you go to calls, it could be somebody you know. How do you deal with that?
Well, I think the toughest part about being an emergency responder in a small town is that you live in is that there's going to be that chance that there's somebody you know. I think when we get the page to respond, we have to put personal relationships aside, and we have to just go get our job done and deal with the side effects after.
But being a man of the community, you got to feel really good knowing that, for somebody's toughest day, you're going to be there and they know that they can trust you. That's got to mean a lot to you.
Yeah, it's a great responsibility. It's something that I think when we're in the department, we take this stuff very serious. And yeah, it's a big responsibility.
All right, that pause is because somebody's getting his shoulders rubbed right now. What is going on back there? There's way too much fun going on here at the old No. 12 Cafe and Lounge. You talk about being here for so long, to have the relationships with the people like we just saw. What is that? What is that like for you?
There's a really good community here, really good group of people, and we all get along. And there's always lots of jabbing and joking and good times.
The town has grown so much, John, and what's it been like to see it grow and see people, leave and come back, and just see people really care about the town of Ste.Anne?
Oh, it means a lot. Obviously, the town went through a lot of years of no growth, and now to see all these people coming in and making it a bigger and better community and bringing in some fresh faces, it's a great thing.
Sir, thank you so much for taking some time. If maybe somebody wants to get involved with the fire department, is there a way that they can maybe volunteer? Can they get involved? What can they do? Yeah,
the best bet if you want to be involved with the Ste.Anne Fire Department is just head to the town office. There's a package there you can pick up. You can fill out an application, and then we'll review them as required.
That's a good way to give back to the town that you live and love in. Thank you very much, John. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for your time, Dave.
All right, so we're going to continue here at the old No. 12 Cafe and Lounge, where the coffee's free, and apparently so are the back rubs. I don't really know that's the first one yet today, but hey, there's still time. Coming up in just a little bit, we have Mark Robichaud, Police Chief, coming up. Stephan Patton will join us as well, and Celeste, the proud owner of the old No. 12 Cafe and Lounge, here on the Country 107 Morning Show as we're in Ste.Anne. Good morning. It is 9:48. I'm Dave Anthony. We're continuing with the Country 107 Morning Show from old No. 12 Cafe and Lounge here in Ste.Anne. It's been just a fantastic day talking with so many people, and we still have a couple more to go, and we've saved a great one for you right now. Mr. Mark Robichaud, Police Chief here. Mark, how long have you been the Police Chief here in Ste.Anne?
Yeah, I've been here as the Chief for 10 years now.
Man, and how time flies. Hey, what's it been like to see the town grow over the last decade?
Yeah, it's been amazing. It was slow for the first 2 years that I was here, and then all of a sudden there was this great boom, and certainly the dynamic of policing here has changed over the last few years.
All right, so tell me a little bit about how it's changed.
Well, our call volume has certainly increased, and with the increase in population, there ends up being a lot of people that move here that, we don't know, and, with any increase in population, you're certainly going to have an increase in crime.
Yeah, that's just natural, but this still has a real good, safe feel to it here in Ste.Anne. You got to take a lot of pride in that.
Oh, absolutely, we do, and I think we take a lot of ownership in making this community safe. I know personally, it's not just a job for me; it's a responsibility.
Now, I think you say that because the people have a lot to do with that, right?
Oh, absolutely. The police department in Ste.Anne here has huge support from the community. I don't think we would be able to operate a small town police department without the kind of community support that we have.
Now, you look even around here, so many different people from different areas. John DeRoche is here from the fire department, Sarah Normando from the rec. You guys all seem like you have a real close-knit kind of relationship. That's got to mean a lot to you.
Yeah, it is. And I would say that it's the best part about it is that it's a collaborative relationship. So all parts of policing, in order for it to be very effective, it needs input from all kinds of different sources, and I would say on a daily basis I meet with all those people and talk about issues related to policing and how we can do things better.
When you look back over the last 10 years, just how have you grown as a police chief here in Ste.Anne?
I think it's just understanding that small town policing is really a style of policing onto its own, and it's different from other styles of policing that I've done in bigger centers, and that it needs a certain approach.
And you just talk about your own personal growth. We talk about the town growth, and it's still a so positive energy here. But like you said, there are still issues that arise, and it's just part of living in any kind of town, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ste.Anne is no different than any other community in the southeast. We're facing some of the same issues that other, larger communities are facing. But I think that, being such a tight-knit community, it makes it a little bit easier to deal with some of those issues.
Now, I think communication with the public comes into effect. Like, you're a very personable guy. Everybody knows you and can come shake your hand, or if they see you drive by, they wave at you. Communication and that relationship with the community goes such a long way, right?
It does, and I think it's important, not just as the police chief, but on an individual officer level, that when you're out patrolling, you stop and talk to people and make sure you meet people that are new to the community, meet people that are out walking, talk to people about their concerns, and that's probably the best way to do it, is to physically be out there and be, talking with people.
Sir, I can't thank you enough for taking some time for us today, and we're always glad when you can give us some time, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. Have a great day.
I'm Dave Anthony. Hopefully you're having a great Thursday so far. We are definitely having a great Thursday here at the old number 12 Cafe and Lounge. Stephan Patton has joined the show. Stephan, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
Captain of the Ste.Anne Aces, former professional hockey player, and grew up in Ste.Anne. What was it like growing up here?
Ste.Anne's always been a very close community. I went to the French school, but there was also an English school here too. So the correlation between the two schools and the shared schoolyard, and there was always a divided line there, but we always had friends on both sides. So growing up with those people, and we've always stayed really close, and I think that's been the fun part about still playing hockey here as well, is we're the same group of guys just coming back and playing together and having a lot of fun doing it.
The sport got to take you on a wild ride. I mean, to leave Ste.Anne and go play professional hockey, what was that experience like?
Yeah, and now that I look back on it, I kind of realize how naive I was, starting off, going and playing Alberta and then coming back to Portage and having a couple of really good years there, and then going down to Grand Forks, which I thought was still home because I was still a 2.5-hour drive away, but traveling all over the U.S. and all over the world was a whole lot of fun. So now that I look back at it, I definitely appreciate it a whole lot more, just the experiences I got to have and the places I got to see.
Now, you had a lot of options with your hockey career. What made you want to come back to Ste.Anne and really settle down?
Yeah, I took entrepreneurship in school, so graduating was a big accomplishment for me, and understanding that the life it was of playing professional hockey after getting a bit of a taste of it was, I was in a serious relationship with a stepchild, and decided that starting a business, which I was really passionate about, and started in school, and starting life with a small family and growing it was more in my wheelhouse.
How much did Ste.Anne change in the time that you were growing up here, left, and then came back? What was the change like?
Yeah, quite honestly, right when I came back, there wasn't much change. Ste.Anne didn't change a whole lot for a number of years, till probably about 3 years ago. So we've seen a lot of growth here in the last 3 years, and we hope to continue seeing more and more good people join our community.
Stephan, I know that you take a lot of pride in your business. What is it that you're doing?
We're doing a lot. We're mainly a general contractor. We're focusing on concrete and framing for our clients, and a few more businesses like Lucky 35 Studio in Steinbach, focusing on content creation and some branding. So lots going on, but a lot of really good people in our organizations, and makes it really easy and a lot of fun.
Recently at the Envision event that you actually did a lot of the video work for, and that was fantastic presentations. Just to be involved with that amazing group, what was that like for you?
For sure, that was a really good learning experience for us. I mean, that was our first, I'd say, bigger corporate project, and dealing with an organization like Envision that gives so much to the community really taught us, and especially Matt, just the value they bring by speaking to the people that they affect, and both of us really took something from that.
Stephan, when anybody says Ste.Anne, your name comes up, whether it's a hockey player, a businessman, or a family man. What does it mean to you to raise your family here in Ste.Anne?
Everything about this community is extremely positive to us. We our schooling, the French school here, École Pointe-des-Chênes, is an amazing school. We have our police services, our fire services, our hospital, and there are a lot of amenities here, and growing as well. So we're adding amenities to make it more of a serviceable community. So the people make it what it is, and I think we're really proud of that. So we'll continue to try to attract good people.
All right, Stephan, thank you very much for taking some time for us here today. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
All right, so it is that time. We're getting ready to wrap up. The Country 107 Morning Show is on the road at the old No. 12 Cafe and Lounge here in Ste.Anne, and Celeste, the owner, is. Thank you so much for hosting us here today. It was a really fun day, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was a good day.
All right, so I see you smiling and chatting with a lot of people. You get a lot of regulars here every day?
Every day we get the same group of guys coming in, and guys, females, whoever. It's always a lot of fun talking with them.
It seems like you guys have a lot of fun, and just to have that community feel and that closeness with this community, it's got to mean a lot to you.
It does. We've owned this place for 22 years now, and we appreciate everyone that walks in through that door. And I never get a real chance to say thank you to everyone, and this is a good opportunity. I'd like to thank all of our patrons that come in, and it's been a wonderful experience for us.
There's so many different walks of life too, from people who are retired and come in to solve the world's problems to, police chief and the fire chief. Sarah's here as well. It's such a wide range, and I think that says a lot about the town of Ste.Anne.
Yes, we're growing, and we have a lot of people that take pride into this little community and work together and try to promote it as a wonderful place to stay.
Now, we had Sarah Normando on before, and she said that she wanted to be just like you. What does that mean? That, someone like Sarah who's doing amazing things uses you as an inspiration?
It's humbling. I think it's kind of cute, but, and she's such a wonderful soul. So it's nice to have younger people taking over what you've started and what you find a passion in and all that kind of stuff. So it's honoring and it's wonderful to have these young parents and people of our community stepping up and continuing our pride and our ideas, whatever you want to call it. It's wonderful to see that. So
thank you so much for hosting us here today. It was fantastic. This is a great place to kind of be with so many different kinds of people. Celeste, we can't thank you enough. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming out. I appreciate it.
So that's going to wrap up the Country 107 Morning Show from Ste.Anne.